Hello friends! Today we're discussing a major shift in United States military policy under President Donald Trump. Trump has announced that the United States will sell simplified versions of military aircraft to its allies. But the real shocker is his reasoning. He fears that these allies might not remain allies in the future. This move is raising a lot of questions. Why is the United States limiting the technology it shares with its allies? Has this happened before? What could this mean for global military power? Let's break it all down in today's analysis. In a recent speech, Trump justified his decision in blunt terms, saying, "We're going to sell our allies simplified military aircraft because someday they may not be our allies anymore." This statement hints at a deeper concern within United States military strategy. America wants to maintain technological superiority, even if a former ally becomes a rival. Selling advanced but downgraded versions ensures that if an ally turns against the United States, they won't have the latest American technology. But this isn't the first time the United States has restricted military exports like this. Back in 1977, President Jimmy Carter proposed a similar idea. The United States planned to sell a downgraded version of the F-16 fighter jet to foreign allies. It was called the F-16-79, and instead of the latest engine, it had an older J-79 engine. The reason? To prevent allies from having the same advanced capabilities as the United States. However, this plan failed because allies didn't want an inferior version of the jet. They instead turned to other countries, like France and the Soviet Union, to buy more capable aircraft. Eventually, Carter's plan was scrapped, and normal F-16s were sold. So will Trump's new strategy backfire in the same way? This policy could directly impact several countries that rely on the US for advanced military hardware. NATO allies, Germany, France, and the UK, these nations already operate US jets but could lose access to the latest technologies. Middle Eastern allies, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Israel, these nations buy billions worth of US weapons and may now receive downgraded versions. Asian allies, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, these countries are key in countering China, so a reduction in their military capabilities could be risky. For allies, this policy sends a dangerous message. It suggests that the US doesn't fully trust them with its most advanced weapons. And if they can't get cutting-edge US jets, where will they turn? The US has always been a top supplier of fighter jets, tanks, and defense systems. But if America limits the quality of its exports, some allies might look elsewhere. And that means turning to Russia or China. Russia already sells advanced jets like the Su-35 and Su-57, which rival American F-16S and F-35S. China has been rapidly developing fifth-generation fighters like the J-20 and J-35, and some US allies might consider buying from China if American jets are too limited. We've already seen Turkey move toward Russian weapons after the US blocked it from buying F-35S. Could other nations follow? This policy could backfire on the US if allies lose confidence in American support. This decision could also shake up the defense industry in a big way. US defense companies, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon, if the US restricts advanced aircraft sales, companies like Lockheed Martin, F-35, Boeing, F-15X, and Raytheon, missiles, could lose billions in revenue. These companies rely on foreign sales to keep production costs low. European defense industry, France, UK, Sweden, if allies can't get the best US jets, they might start buying European alternatives like France's Dassault Rafale, the UK's Tempest fighter, in development, and Sweden's Saab Gripen. China's and Russia's military exports, if US allies feel abandoned, they might turn to China or Russia for military deals. This would strengthen US rivals in the global arms race. Trump's decision to sell simplified military aircraft is a controversial move. On one hand, it makes sense for US national security, ensuring that allies don't get too powerful in case they switch sides. But on the other hand, it could weaken trust between the US and its allies. If history is any indicator, allies don't like being treated as second-class partners. So, will this strategy backfire like the F-16-79 plan did? Or will it help America maintain control over military technology? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global affairs. See you in the next one.